Well, hello and welcome to the e-commerce podcast. My name is Matt Edmondson and it's great to be with you on what can only be described as a sunny day here in the UK at the time of recording. So an unusual occurrence to be sure. Now, I have been in e-commerce since 2002, and these days I get to partner with e-commerce brands to help them grow, scale and exit. And if you'd like to know more about how that would work, just on whether we could work together, just head over to the website ecommercepodcast.net. You'll also find on that website all of our past episodes with the show notes and all of that sort of good stuff, as well as a little link that allows you to sign up to the e-commerce newsletter. So make sure you do that as well, and you'll get some great tips and tricks. I've been saying for the last few weeks, actually, we're doing a big overhaul on the newsletter, and we are almost where we want to be with it. So yes, it's taken a long time. Yes, thank you for bearing with us, and yes, it is coming out very, very soon. I will let you know more on the podcast. In fact, by the time you've heard this, it's probably going to be working hunky-dory. Anyway, all of that said, ecommercepodcast.net. So let's talk about today's guest, Abhisheck Chandra from Go Quick. Now, we're going to talk about Go Quick. We're going to talk about what these guys are doing and why they've decided, actually, the UK market, the US market, we all need a little bit of help. We can all learn something from the e-commerce market in India, and I'm inclined to agree, having seen their products and had a little bit of a demo. So I'm curious to find out what's going on in India, what we can learn as e-commerce entrepreneurs here in the UK. Because Abhisheck, it's fair to say India is a fairly sizable e-commerce market. It's not insignificant, is it really?
No. It's more than $150 billion already, and it is growing at the CAGR of 20%. So in next 5 years, it will cross to more than 250 billion.
It's incredible, isn't it? I posted on LinkedIn, and by the way, dear listener, if you're not following me on LinkedIn, why not come connect with me on LinkedIn? Anyway, that aside, I posted on LinkedIn yesterday a stat which I saw that where the e-commerce market is predicted to go by 2032, and it's a massive number. I mean, it's an insane. You kind of go woohoo, it's a massive number, and I get to have a share of that, which is wonderful. But actually, when you analyze it, it's only 8% growth, and you kind of go, well, isn't that interesting? And obviously, it's focused very much on the UK, what I would call the big five, the UK, the US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. What it isn't really accounting for are emerging markets. And Tony Conte, who's been on the show from Brave Agency, he posted on there. He said, it's really, because I'm like, does that mean we have to go and steal all of the traffic from our competitors? Do we have to get a little bit more competitive? And he's like, actually, I think it means that we need to think about these markets, these international markets and emerging markets. And I think of places like India, South America, Africa itself, these sort of emerging e-com markets, which are actually, but they're not really emerging anymore. They're sort of fully there, aren't they? Just absolutely killing it. And are you quite buoyant about the e-commerce market in India? Do you think it's going to sort of stay around? Do you think it's all doing pretty well?
Yeah, absolutely. The e-commerce boom started a little late in India, like the Western markets like US and UK, but the speed at which it is growing, it's tremendous, because India was little lagging in terms of, let's say, the internet penetration, and also the internet revolution in India came back around maybe 10-12 years back, when a billion Indians got internet at a very low price. So people in very remote parts of India, they got access to internet. So they say that firstly it started with very basic things like browsing a YouTube and all. Then people started understanding that there are opportunities available, even if they don't have access to resources, but they can with internet in their hands, they started doing different things. In fact, in last 5-6 years, I have seen good direct to consumer brands emerging from very small parts of India and selling very niche products which let's say cater to that region, or let's say just India as a market. All right. So though it came a little late, but the way it is growing, the growth is tremendous. In
Mm.
fact, during our discussion, I would love to deep dive there.
Yeah, no, I'm intrigued by it because we had a guest on the show a few weeks ago, and we were talking about China. And China does e-commerce quite differently to how we do e-commerce in the UK, and it fascinated me. And I think about places like India, where yes, they were a little bit later getting into the internet, but when you guys started, the technology had evolved so much. You didn't have all that early baggage that we had in the UK. You could innovate with a billion people pretty much almost instantly and rethink things just like they've done in China. And I think I'm intrigued by it because you can you've built like Go Quick and these sort of platforms without that baggage, just based on what you can do with the technology now, which has enabled you to think outside the box, to think about things differently. And I am fascinated by that. And I'd love to dig into sort of some of the things that you guys have learned. I mean, a 10, 12-year-old market is not exactly brand new, is it? I mean, I suppose in digital terms, it's almost like dinosaur, but
Yeah.
but Go Quick's been around since what, 2020, and you've got this fast growing e-com market in India. What what are some of the things that you guys have learned that maybe we haven't yet learned in the UK, or maybe that would help us to understand sort of a bit more fully?
Absolutely. So I would like to take you a little back before even we thought of starting Go Quick. So 12, 13 years back, we saw in India that fintech. See, banks always had these legacy systems. The payments used to be
Yeah.
slow. Online payments uh, were not that what you can say. The success rates were low and all. So during my university days, I was doing my engineering 12, 13 years back, and what I thought was, in India it needs a fintech revolution, that we need to have indigenous products which cater to the Indian market. So during that time, I met a person who just came back from the US, and he had an idea that why don't we have a product like a PayPal in India? Why don't we build
Mm.
it? All right. So which sound during 12, 13 years back, it sounded difficult, but at least we had the engineering talent in India. So we started
Yeah.
working on that, and just to ensure that these e-commerce companies doesn't face challenges like payment drops and all, which because most of the payment solutions were uh, American companies who
Yeah.
have little offices in India, and they were not that focused. India was just a large market for them, so they used to have these solutions there. So we started building this company. The company was called MobiQuick, and we were amongst the first to build a digital wallet in India. And in just 5 6 years, uh, just like us, there was another company called Paytm, and we started building this wallet which can empower, let's say, a few million Indians who can keep money in their wallet, spend it wherever they want, whether it's a small store to a
Mm.
large retailer like an Amazon. So we started building that, and in 6 years we reached the point where PayPal had to leave India because we became
Fantastic. I mean, that's well done. Well
yeah.
done.
Yeah. So, and both these companies, both MobiQuick and Paytm, which were homegrown companies, now these are public listed multi-billion-dollar companies.
Hmm.
All right. So, which gave us enough confidence that yes, we can build a world-class product, because
Hmm.
most of the good talent from India used to go to US, to Silicon
That's right.
Valley,
Yeah.
to build large organization. But because we didn't have those infra in India, so people were not staying back. But now I can proudly say that when we were building Go Quick, we had no problem getting the greatest of the greatest talent. uh,
Mm.
Go Quick, when we were starting, our the main core focus was data science. So we wanted data science, good data scientists. And to our surprise, many people from Silicon Valley working in companies like Amazon US, LinkedIn, Facebook, uh, uh, Microsoft, they joined us. They came back to India, and they joined Go Quick in the early days. So I have seen that shift in the last 10 years, that how things are changing in India. And also with Go Quick, The only problem statement why we started Go Quick was that even 10-12 years back, these small direct to consumer brands used to start on Shopify because it is
Mm.
easier for anyone to build a
Sure.
website. But every 4 or 5 years, what was happening was uh, that larger marketplaces like Amazon or let's say Flipkart in India, they used to just come and acquire them, or let's say build a competing product in their marketplace just to kill that small business. All
Yeah.
right. So suddenly, 7-8 years back, we saw that all the small direct to consumer brand wrapped up because they were not able to compete with the likes of Amazon or the other large marketplaces, which is a very bad thing, because if they keep selling their products on an Amazon, they have to keep shelling out 30%, 40% of their margins, which in long run is non-sustainable.
Hmm.
Alright. And the only reason why they were failing was because, see, Amazon or any other large marketplace, these are tech companies who sells product. That is why you have the best in class customer experience on the website, from just landing on the website to actual transacting. So the journey is very seamless there, which a regular Shopify website can't have, because these
Yeah.
are regular people who knows a certain product which they can sell, procure, manufacture, and sell, but they don't know how to create the world class experience on their website. So we thought of starting a company which can create multiple products which can be fitted to different parts of an e-commerce journey, so that a
Mm.
customer can get an Amazon kind of experience on non-Amazon world,
Hmm.
which was the DTC world. And in just 4 5 years, now we power more than 12,000 stores globally, where we started fixing various challenges. The first challenge which we fixed was a fast checkout on Shopify, because we realized on Shopify the checkout page was very long. Customers used to
Yeah.
take so much time in filling their details, and they used to drop off. Most of the customers were dropping off. So we created a one-click fast checkout, which reduced that journey from 20 seconds to just 3 seconds. So
Nice.
so the conversion rate shot up, and within few months that product became very popular. So we started getting so many inbound queries that we want to implement it. So we had
So
to
was
quit.
this a sorry? Was this a plugin for a Shopify site?
So in the early days, it was a private app on Shopify,
Right.
because Shopify was not allowing it to publish. All right. So we had to integrate on each and every individual website.
Oh
On
wow.
We have to
Yeah.
hire a big team of people to just integrate it. And Shopify was not very happy in the initial days, but 2 years back, what happened was uh, Shopify was losing their enterprise brands to other platforms like Salesforce Commerce Cloud
Hmm.
and let's say Magento, because once the companies were becoming too big, they were facing these challenges, and
Yeah.
so the larger platforms were getting them. So we talked to Shopify. We told them that if you keep this checkout, if we work closely, we'll ensure that the larger brands don't move out of Shopify, and
Hmm.
we proved that. So eventually, Shopify released their global APIs just to accommodate us. So we were the first checkout which was recognized by Shopify, and now we are a public app. We launched the public app 2 years back on Shopify App
Fantastic.
Store. So the Go Quick checkout. It's called Quick Checkout. Now it is the largest checkout globally, and
Hmm.
and it's in just 4 years. So
That's quite impressive. And what I mean, I'm obviously very familiar with the Shopify checkout, and I'm familiar with your products as well now. But I'm kind of curious, who decided? I suppose who looked at it and went, "Oh, we can just do that so much better. Here, let's just do that, and let's have a go and see what happens." I love that mindset. Whose idea was it?
So I think the initial 2 3 people. So we came from different backgrounds. So
Mm.
one of my co-founder was in a management team of a DTC brand. I
Mm.
came from a fintech background. One of our co-founder was a data scientist. So when we used to chat in the initial days, we used to discuss different problem statements, because we came from all different backgrounds, from
Sure.
fintech to DTC to standard data science and technology. All right. So we thought that what is the first problem statement problem that we can solve. And checkout was one thing which was broken, so we thought of fixing it. And also, see, checkouts are very localized also, depending on the regions. So for example, in India, the most preferred option still to pay on any e-commerce website is cash on delivery.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really?
So you won't believe, still 50% of orders happens via cash on
Oh
delivery.
my goodness. Okay.
So,
I don't know why I'm surprised. I suppose if I'd have thought about it, it makes sense. But of course, in the UK, I can't remember the last time anything was COD. Maybe 20 years ago. I genuinely don't know.
absolutely. So that is why whenever a global company try to enter the market, they have their standard SOPs and they try to replicate that, but it
Of
doesn't
course, it
work
doesn't
like
work. Yeah, yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
work like that. So that is why you have to localize the product. So we localize the product so that cash on delivery can work in a much more proper way. There are no frauds happening on cash on delivery. There was a problem of RTO is return to origin, because see, people have nothing to lose on cash on delivery, so they used to take delivery in a very casual way, that when a delivery guy comes, they used to say, no, I'm not at home, take it away, or like take it back, because they knew the brand will reattempt the delivery, but they didn't know that the brand has to pay for to and fro. Uh,
Hmm.
so we built data science layer which used to predict that this customer will do RTO. So before even he's placing the order. So during that journey, we used to trigger many things, that a partial prepaid payment, or we implemented many things which reduce COD in India, because
Yeah.
because e-commerce brands were losing billions of dollars in RTO frauds. So we built a good data science layer to remove those frauds, and just to ensure that, because people love to pay via COD, so they can continue to pay via COD. But slowly and steadily, we also moved in the direction where we can reduce COD also. We encourage people to use prepaid more. So our first success as a company came from that checkout, and still the checkout is our biggest problem. Then after 2 years, we started working on different problem statements. Another problem statement was that emails and SMSs were not giving results to brands. When people were communicating to their customers on email and SMSs, they were not opening the email and SMS. So, and because most of the people are on WhatsApp, so we thought, why don't we create a WhatsApp commerce solution, where brands can market their product, they can do abandoned cart emails there, they can do cross sell upsells on WhatsApp. So we started working very closely with Meta, because during that time Meta didn't start to monetize WhatsApp. So
Mm.
we talked to them, and we said, see, you can't charge the customers directly, but why don't we create a B2B solution around it? All right. So we were amongst the first people to build a WhatsApp commerce solution. And again, because we had the distribution, people trusted us with with our offerings. So within no time, even on that product is what, 2.5, 3 years old, and more than 5,000 brands use it. Use it to communicate with their customers. And
Mm.
till date, we never work with a large marketplace. Our thesis are still there, that we are there to serve the D2C ecosystem.
Mm.
Though we get calls from all large food delivery apps, all right, we have all large marketplaces, because see, these solutions are replicable everywhere. But we say no, we are there to, so that these small businesses can survive and thrive
Yeah.
on their own.
Yeah.
All right. Because see, with these omni-channel experiences, now people who used to run retail stores and all, now they have digital footprint where they launch their own website. All right. So at least they can manage it in a much efficient way, that whether the customer is a walk-in customer or they use their website, at least these product of ours, they stitch the journey together, so
Yeah.
that they can have they can run their business much more efficiently. We help them improve their bottom line, in a sense, because bottom line is very important. Everyone has a limited marketing budget to spend.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Absolutely.
yeah.
Well, it sounds like, I mean, I'm fascinated, and I'm intrigued that, you guys managed to do. I suppose as I'm listening to you talk, I'm thinking, Abhishek, you've done what every entrepreneur has done in the past however many thousand years. You've seen a problem, you've solved the problem, and people are willing to pay you money because you've solved their problem, and you've done it in a way that is replicable. And I love the fact you kicked PayPal out of India. That's just brilliant. I So where's it? I mean, it's fair to say you're actually in London right now, just down the road. Well, I say just down the road, it's 3 hours down the road, but just down the road.
Yeah.
Um, so Go Quicker. Obviously, you're thinking about global expansion. You're in the UK. You have UK customers. You told me earlier that you've got 4,000 US customers. You've acquired a brand over there, so you're going into the States. So you're now why settle in India? Just, go and conquer the world. It's brilliant. Love it. It's it's the way it should be. I mean, you've got these different products, but is there more to Go Quick than just the checkout process? Or is it a case of we're going to go take the checkout to these international markets and see what happens because we think we can help you guys so much more?
So, in fact, we didn't have any plan to come into the into any international market, because when we were growing, see India in the last 4 5 years, see India is a big enough market for
I was
us.
going to say there's a lot,
Yeah,
a
and
billion people. Why would you not?
yeah, so it was growing very fast. So during our journey, we were backed by all large global VCs like Sequoia Capital, RTP Global, Think Investment. So all large global VCs invested in us. So we were very well capitalized, and we wanted to serve the Indian market. And we can currently also we believe in the Indian market, and most of our efforts goes into building different products to cater to Indian market. But 10 months back, one interesting thing happened with us, that um, be- because we already had two products which were catering to different problem statements in
Mm,
e-commerce journey. We wanted to build a product which solves the returns and exchange part of e-commerce, or like that, how we wanted to have a company there. So we came across this company, Return Prime. They were the third largest returns app on Shopify App Store. They were doing tremendously well, in fact, in globally, because they were the third largest app. So we thought that it's a very good fit in our entire Goku ecosystem. So we acquired that company. So after the acquisition, we realized that this company, most of their brands either were in US or in UK or in Europe. So we thought, why don't we double down at least in these markets where we
mm,
already have certain presence. All right, so 10 months back, but after the US, UK was the biggest market, so I just came here just to experiment that, if let's say if I start staying here long, if I start going to these e-commerce events, can can I make our presence much more stronger in this market. So in my initial days, I used to meet many agencies, many brand founders, and during my conversation, so once, let's say after a meeting, we used to connect on phone, and most of them used to message me on WhatsApp. All right. So one day I asked few agencies, hey, everyone is chatting to their friends and family in UK on WhatsApp, but I don't see any businesses basically messaging their customers on
mm.
WhatsApp. So they said, yeah, we don't do that. So on the other hand, I told them, see, in Asian market,
Oh, it's
80% of
massive.
all
Yeah.
communication happens on WhatsApp.
Hmm.
And and email and SMS have now just reduced to 20%. All right.
Mm,
But why? Because see, most of the customers are on WhatsApp. Email is something which was very prominent 10 years back, but we have to understand that people like you, me, we are business folks, so we have to keep checking our emails every time we have it on mobile. But there are many customers who are regular people who maybe check their emails once in a day, or once in 2 days, or once in a week. So many times, even when their favorite brands reach them, the communication reaches to them, or let's say they read that communication very late, when
mm,
maybe that offer is over, or let's say it's not relevant. So I thought that it's a clear problem statement that, or let's say there is a clear wide market which is available in UK, where we can already try our product Quick Engage, which was WhatsApp. And in fact, I started sharing some numbers with people. Last year, just on WhatsApp, we sent 2 billion messages on WhatsApp for our D2C partners.
okay.
and and which resulted in around 2 billion pounds worth of additional sales. So
Wow.
I started speaking to brands and agency here, so they got very excited. So I thought, let's it's an open market, and it's a problem that needs to be solved. Because see, Matt, the thing is, in every market you go to, the cost of acquisition, the customer
Oh,
acquisition
it's
cost, is
crazy.
going off the
Yeah.
roof, off the roof,
Yeah.
and the ROAS are going down. All right.
Mm.
So as a brand, you have limited budget. You can't keep acquiring customers. So you have to ensure that you are getting more and more repeat customers. And what we have seen in other geographies, WhatsApp plays an amazing role in that. Firstly, because WhatsApp has a 90% plus open rate in the first 5 minutes, which means when
Yeah.
the customer is
Yeah.
actually active. All right. So when you trigger a message to a customer, it can be any message. It can be a promotional message. It can be an abandoned cart message. It can be an upsell message. You know, the chances of customer reading that message is very high. All right. So we started implementing it in the UK market 8 9 months back, and in just 8 months, now more than 100 brands are using our product for WhatsApp.
Hmm.
And the kind of numbers they are seeing now, now interestingly, they have started seeing a 15 to 20x ROI. So now this
Okay.
product is growing so fast in the UK market that the product for which I came to promote, which was Written Prime, I stopped doing that. I said, anyway, it installs from Shopify App Store. Let me focus on creating awareness of WhatsApp in the in the UK market.
Mm.
So sometime, funnily, I talked to the Meta people in India, that I am doing what you are supposed to do in that.
Yeah.
I'm creating awareness about your product, but
Mhm.
with companies like Meta, their main focus is to go into market where the population is too big. So that is
Mm.
why the two focused market for them is India and Brazil.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
really interesting. Really interesting. And this whole thing, I suppose I'm inclined to agree with you that, in the UK, we adopted email pretty quick in the early days of ecom because that's what we had. And I think we've kind of, and don't get me wrong, email is still amazing for our company. And um, I think it's still foundational. And then we tried to introduce SMS. And then, of course, it got complicated with the European Union and all the sort of the weird rules that we started to inject. And with SMS, you could only send text for a little while. And then mobile apps came along and we could do notifications. And then you've got things like WhatsApp and Telegram, which I think is also an interesting platform, which people aren't really talking about as much at the moment. But I think maybe they will be. Maybe you've got some thoughts on this. But the fact that I can send images, links, video with WhatsApp, everybody has WhatsApp on their phone, whether you're Android or Apple. It's a universal communication system, and I'm intrigued. Maybe you've thought this through. Maybe you've got an answer as to why perhaps we've been quite slow to take up WhatsApp. Is it because of legislation? Is it because we just don't know we can use it, and so it's a lack of education? Is it because we're just too set in our ways where email is concerned? I'm curious as to why you think it is.
So to be very honest, it is of no one's fault. It's only when the company which owns the product, they have to promote it in a market. Meta never promoted it. No one in the UK knew that these are things which are possible, even possible.
Mm.
Then if the brands not even know that these are something which is possible on WhatsApp, why will anyone try it? All right. Because, and still it's a new product in the Asian market also.
Mm.
It's like 3 4 year old. All right. WhatsApp for business, it's called WhatsApp for business. So it's new there, but yeah, but as I was telling earlier, the focus of Meta was not in this
Mm.
geography to promote. So that is why it didn't pick up here. so
Yeah.
uh, so that is why when we came here, the kind of response we started getting from both agencies and brands were very encouraging. All right.
Mm.
Because they were, firstly, it's a they don't have to stop. So when we came here, we never asked people to stop sending emails or SMS. We said, why don't you try it?
Hmm.
If you get good results, then you can always keep adding to it.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah. Yeah.
and it's a new market, so you can't just bombard people with WhatsApp message. We have to ensure that we take enough approvals, basically enough consents before sending the messages.
Yeah.
All right, the messages should be like where every customer should have an option to stop the message whenever they want.
Yeah.
So we have to design it in such a way, firstly when it is GDPR compliant also, and it doesn't feel very intrusive for a customer.
Yeah.
So that is why when we start working with a brand also, we never ask them to do marketing in the first 30 days. So we implement very basic use cases like abandoned cart recoveries and all. And abandoned cart recovery, you will be very surprised. On WhatsApp you can, so the abandoned cart recovery is close to 20%. So which is never heard of, which
Yeah.
means
That's quite
same
high. Yeah.
marketing budget with same number of customers coming to your platform, you have a 20% higher revenue realization.
Mm.
So which adds so much credibility in the eyes of the brands, that now just by using WhatsApp as a channel, they are able to save 20% of their revenue.
Mm.
All right. So then once the audience is warmed up, then slowly and steadily you push other use cases also. But at least the revenue leakages firstly needs to be fixed, which can be easily done via channels like WhatsApp. And one more very important thing which I want to highlight here is that WhatsApp is conversational commerce,
Mm-hmm.
which means email and SMS, even if you send any kind of communication to the customer, what best a customer can do is click on a link and land on a page.
Yep.
On the other hand, WhatsApp looks like a conversation. So for example, even if you send let's say if I launch this t-shirt, I send to the customer, hey, we have launched these new set of t-shirts. All right, so it will show a very beautiful image. Then there will be text with all emojis and all, but then there will be CTA buttons. And those CTA buttons are very interesting. These CTA buttons can be, do you have more sizes? Once you click there, automatically more sizes will be shown there.
Right. Yep.
All right. And or what goes well with it. So automatically it will pull a trouser which goes well with this t-shirt, trouser or an accessory.
Mm-hmm.
So all these conversation keep happening in the same WhatsApp window, and these flows are automated.
Yeah.
And once, let's say, customer makes up their mind to actually buy the product, they'll just click on shop now button, and it will directly take the customer to add to cart, and not to some again to a product
Yeah.
discovery.
Yeah.
So this conversational commerce is only limited to WhatsApp right now. All right. So which is not even possible on an email or SMS. So
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
why once brand starts using it, they'll see a drastic difference in how they engage with their customers. In fact, I have some funny anecdotes and all also. So few of the beauty brands that work in the UK market with us. So let's say if you order a mascara, all right.
Mm-hmm.
So you get a order confirmation message on WhatsApp that's saying, hey, thanks for placing the order, and with a video, this is how you apply this mascara as a post purchase.
Yeah.
Now, and see, for a beauty brand it can be how to apply this. There are many products which needs installation also.
Yeah.
So on
Yep.
WhatsApp, in the same message you get, this is how you install it. We work with a toy brand, all right, and every toys needs an installation. So when the parents used to get these videos on how to install this toy, so they used to show the video to the child, and the children were very fascinated to build it on their own because they had a video to refer to. All right. So these are things which keeps the customers very close to a brand. Because why we actually because see, you can also buy the same product from an Amazon, but why people stick with a particular DTC brand is when they connect to the story of the brand.
Yeah. That's really interesting, isn't it? My mind is racing, Abhisheck, with all kinds of possibilities around this. Like I'm wondering whether, for example, with subscription commerce, whether I send a WhatsApp message saying your subscription's due to go out. If you want to snooze your subscription, just click here on WhatsApp and it'll just snooze it for you. Or this is your order that's going out. If you've got an hour, if you want to add to the order, let me know and I can put it in and it will go through and do you know what I mean? It will do all the upsell type things. I am a big fan of conversational commerce, And I think it's one of these things which is I think it's going to become more and more important over the next few years, especially with AI.
Yeah,
And because this is how I think you'll interact with AI, you'll start to ask AI, or what will go with this T-shirt, and AI, so if you're doing that before AI can do it, people kind of get used to it, don't you?
absolutely.
And I love the fact you're doing this on the WhatsApp platform. I'm not, it's not that I'm pro WhatsApp, but I get why you would do it on that platform, because that's the platform that makes sense for this. Where do you see
Absolutely.
it going? I'm curious over the next few years, the whole WhatsApp thing. Where do you see it going?
So I think it will. You will have the same numbers like in the Asian market. It will cross 70 to 80% of all communications, because of the flexibility in terms of technology. That what are the different things you can do on WhatsApp, as
Mm,
rightly as rightly highlighted by you, that on the flow you can edit orders on WhatsApp. You can
mm,
start a subscription. You can stop a subscription. All right,
mm,
on the flow, when let's say a product is already an order is already placed. And the possibilities are so high. For example, on yesterday I was talking at an event, and we were the topic of the discussion were NPS scores. All right. So on email and SMS, the collection rate of NPS is just 5 to 15%, but
mm.
on a WhatsApp it is as high as 40 to 60%, because the customer will open it, because he's
Yeah,
expecting a message
yeah,
from someone. He opens it, and also you can gamify the entire experience. It should not look like a bland corporate feedback form. You can gamify the entire experience, that when someone clicks on an answer, it should show a live graph of that, how other people have responded to it.
yeah.
All right. In fact, other things which can be done on WhatsApp is running a poll, all right, or a
Mm,
contest. So let's say during any part of the month, all right, when you don't have any new thing to send to your customer, that you don't have any launch, you don't have any offer, but how to engage with your customer, you can let in UK you have premier you have football matches throughout the year. So a simple message can go to a customer: hey, who do you think will win today's match, Chelsea or
mm.
Liverpool? When someone clicks on,
Well,
let's say,
Liverpool.
Chelsea, they Liverpool, all
Yeah,
right,
you
this
do.
is
When someone clicks Chelsea, Abhisheck, you send them a message back going, you're clearly wrong."
so they can see a live graph that what other
Yeah,
people have voted, and a brand can say, if your team wins today, you will get additional 10% off.
yeah, yeah,
Again, you can trigger these things, and you can gamify the entire experience, so that it doesn't look like a very promotional thing.
yeah. Hmm.
And also at the same time, during a month, again you have basically created a recall in the mind of the customer.
Mm,
So see, the thing is, it's the reason why WhatsApp will grow is because of these opportunities which are also available
yeah,
from a tech point of view, which are not available on a static platform like an email or an SMS. All right.
yeah,
And also because as it is owned by Meta, so there is a very good connect between Instagram and WhatsApp, or
yeah.
or Facebook and WhatsApp. In fact, all these automation can also be done on Instagram chats also. So let's say if
Mm,
you run an ad of a particular product as a brand, in
mm,
the comment section, if anyone writes price please, other things, the bots can answer on the chats also.
yeah, yeah,
So the connection is there. In fact, in Asian market, the primary key on or the primary login is the mobile number. So
yeah.
whenever anyone clicks on an ad on Instagram, it can directly take to a WhatsApp channel also of the brand.
That's interesting. You make that comment. The primary login is the phone number.
Yeah. So
It's interesting whenever I travel to the States. One of the things that I notice actually that they've done over there is like in supermarkets. You get your I don't know if you've come across these yet. In Tesco, you can get your club card voucher, or you get different pricing and things like that. In the
exactly.
States, it's not. You go to the checkout and you just put in your phone number. There's a little box. You're putting your phone number in it, and it knows all your accounts, and that's how they've done it. They've done it on the phone number, so then they can text you and obviously now WhatsApp you as well, because it seems to be a more effective method of communication. I
Absolutely.
don't know. of any e-commerce store I have shopped at that has done check-in on the basis of a phone number over an email. But I'm curious. I mean, if this is what they're doing in Asia, I almost wonder what would happen if we offered it as an option. Do you know what I mean? And just to check it and see what, so you do get the numbers from people. I'm curious. You got me thinking now, but
Yeah, so let's take an example of Shopify also. Shopify is a global company, but they realized that in the Asian market, the primary login for a customer cannot be email. So few years back, they even changed it to mobile number. Now that is why, because we used to run the checkout. So if anyone enters their mobile number and their password, automatically we used to pull all their last purchase. So let's say all their preferred payment options on the checkout page. If they have, let's say, 5 loyalty points coming from 5 different channels, whether it's a card loyalty point or some intermiles or something, we used to show that, okay, you can burn these 10,000 points in this transaction itself. So because mobile number was the primary key, suddenly we used to get all these data collated in one checkout, which made the life easy for the customer. So maybe slowly and it started from India, but slowly and steadily it went to other markets in Asia, and similarly in Middle East also. So maybe slowly and steadily mobile number will become optional in many places, so that all these things can be accessed. And in fact, I'll tell you one very interesting thing which I encountered 2-3 months back here in UK. Few of our brands was selling their products in US also. These people who are using our quick engage product WhatsApp, and they said, can I send messages in US? So I said, but people don't use WhatsApp in US. So interestingly, that founder told me that 20 to 30% of the customers in the US have started using WhatsApp, and that 20 to 30% population is comparable to UK. So I want to send. Can you support it? I said, yes, it's a global platform. The message can be sent to any geography.
any number, yeah.
Yeah. So we enabled it from them, and they are sending messages to the customers on WhatsApp in US also. Though we don't go out and promote it, but slowly and steadily now at least we have good 6-7 brands in the UK who have customers in US, and they interact with them on WhatsApp through this channel.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm loving this. I'm curious, how Quick Engage is the platform that you use? Is this a Shopify plugin? Is this an API that we can use? How do you guys connect with us?
So it's a Shopify app. So it's a public app on Shopify, and any Shopify.
And if I don't have a Shopify store, I can't use it.
At the moment, you can't, but we are trying to build a solution. It's in our roadmap. I think in next 6 months it will be available for other platforms like Magento or other platforms.
Fantastic. Abhisheck, listen, I'm aware of time, man, and it's quickly departing from me. But I found this fascinating, and I think I've really enjoyed the challenge of thinking differently about e-commerce. Even just simple things like logging in with an email and just thinking about it differently, I think is super powerful. So how do people reach you? How do they connect with you if they want to do that? If they want to find out more about Go Quick Engage and all that sort of stuff, what's the best way to do it?
Absolutely. I think they can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to share my LinkedIn profile with you. And also, if people can remember, my email is abhisheck@goquick.co. And so they can always, I'm happy to interact with clients one-on-one, because because it's a new geography for us, and the best way to build a product is through right customer feedback. So we don't want to build the product in silo and just send it in the market. We want to, I really love to interact with more customers and agencies, so that we can alter the product according to what really their requirement is.
Fantastic. Well, Abhisheck, we will, of course, put all of those links in the show notes, which you can get along with a transcript for free at ecommercepodcast.net. Or, of course, it will be coming to your inbox with the newsletter. All the links and stuff will be in there as well if you're subscribed to the newsletter. And, of course, if you're on the old mobile phone, you can just scroll down in your app, in your podcast app, and it'll all be there as well. Abhisheck, listen, I should have done this before, but I'm so engrossed. Question for Matt. Let's do that. What's your question for me? This is where I like to ask my guests for a question. I take the question and then I will go and answer it on social media. I'm really, really curious. What's your question for me?
So I think I have a very so I want to understand. So you have heard that what different products we have. Do you think it's the right time to enter into US?
Okay, I will answer that question over on social media. If you want to know what I think about going into the States, go quickly over to LinkedIn. Find me on LinkedIn, Matt Edmondson. I will be on there answering that question. But Abhisheck, listen, man, I've really, really enjoyed the conversation, really intrigued by what you guys are doing. And I will definitely be following your journey. Now we've got to the end of the show. We've got to that part where I do the saving the best till last question. And so this is where, for the listeners that have made it this far, we're sneakily trying to get people to listen to more and more of the show, obviously. It's not rocket science what we're doing. But for those that have stayed, Abhisheck, we like to do this saving the best till last. What's your best tip for those that have stayed the longest? What's your value bomb?
So one, at least for the customers from the UK market, I think you should immediately sign up for WhatsApp, because you will get the first movers advantage. When everyone is sending communication on email, at least for the next 1 year, you will have the first movers advantage. None of your competitors are doing it on the same channel. So it's kind of a cheat sheet. An example of that, one of a brand who does 12 million pounds in a year, during the Black Friday sale last year, they sent all their marketing on WhatsApp and they ended up doing 1 million pound in a day. So the only reason was not all their competitors were doing it on email. So do it.
Do your Black Friday promos on WhatsApp. You hit it here first, ladies and gentlemen. And it's a good idea, because everybody's inbox is just full of junk. So I love that. Can we implement it quick enough? At the time of recording, we've got a couple months, so maybe. Abhisheck, listen, thanks, man. Thanks for coming on the show. Really, really appreciate it. And it's been an absolute storm, man. Loved it. Loved every second of it. So thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. The conversation was great. I hope to follow your. I will follow your journey and listen to your other podcasts as well.
Fantastic. Well, that's what we're like. Another listener. Why not? That's it from me. That's it from Abhisheck. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a fantastic week wherever you are in the world. I will see you next time. Bye for now.